Hey, Brian.
Jordan,
Morning,
how
sir.
are you?
Good to see you again. How
Good
are
to
you
see
doing?
you too. I'm good.
Yeah,
Have a
it's been
seat.
a
Make
little
yourself
while.
at home.
Great. Thank you very much.
You see that Ohio State-Penn State game?
Oh, I did. That was probably the lowest scoring best game I've ever watched.
Well, it's traditional Big Ten football. I was just sad to see Ohio State lose.
I know. That's kind of one of those games that they should have come out with a victory, but they worked hard. It was actually a great game.
Did you play football yourself?
No, I did
Basketball?
not. I
Tall
actually
guy.
played flag football, but
Okay,
I never
okay.
got into the high school football team or anything. But flag football was always more fun for me. So
Okay, there's a little bit of tackle in flag
there is,
football.
yeah,
I played
exactly.
it before.
It's a little rough, but
Yeah.
not like the pressure that you feel with the high school football or anything. But what about yourself? Did you ever play high school football?
I
Any
played
kind
at
of
Ohio State.
Did you really?
I didn't play. I rode the bench, but I was
Hey,
there, and that,
you're
that
on the
counts.
team. Exactly.
Yeah, it was eons ago. 25 years since I've been doing that. I've been stuck here at this station ever since.
Oh well, I'm glad to hear that I'm sitting in front of Ohio State alumni. So.
Yeah, the water boy.
Actually, I also want to congratulate you in your store. You had an award up that it was the top marathon store in Northwest Ohio. So I want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you.
It's a great accomplishment. Mr. Brian, I'm really kind of here to give you some suggestions a little bit, and I really want to introduce to you a great service that we feel will increase some profits for you and increase traffic flow into your store,
Okay.
if that sounds okay to you.
Sure.
Okay. Is it okay if I ask you some questions? I really want to get to know your current situation and really find out what's important to you before I get started and introduce you to the product. Is that okay?
It's no problem.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, Mr. Brian, can you tell me a little bit about some challenges maybe that your store or yourself are facing?
The biggest challenge I'm facing these days are credit card fees, especially when the price got high, around $4. You know, I pay 2% per transaction when somebody does use a credit card. So the higher the price, the more money I end up paying to the credit card companies. It's the biggest issue facing my store and, quite frankly, our industry.
Okay. Okay. So how are those credit card fees? You said 2% per transaction. How are those really affecting your profit margins in your store?
On average, I can make anywhere from a nickel to 7 cents. So the higher it goes, if it's 2%, the more they eat into that, to the extent, or sometimes I'm not making money. I hate to admit it, but
Yeah.
it
So what you're
happens.
saying is, with the higher gas prices currently, your profit margins are going down per when the credit card transaction is that high.
Exactly.
Okay, understandable. How do you feel your convenience store is really competing with stores in your surrounding area?
Well, I think we do a great job. You know, I'm in the store every day. I'm talking to my customers. I'm looking them in the eye, and that's the reason they keep coming back. Just trying to get some new faces in would help me increase my overall sales and hopefully increase my margin.
Okay, so how do you feel as your store you could increase sales or increase traffic flow in your company? Do you have any suggestions for yourself to actually grow?
Well, last year, the gentleman who had the job before you talked me into going with Hunt Brothers, and that's been successful, the pizza shop. Took up a lot of space, really upset my vendors, and just reiterated the fact I don't have a lot of space. But it's been successful, and that's really the only investment I've made in my store. I'm a frugal guy, but it's worked out pretty well.
Okay, well that's good. So that's a current concern for you, is really your store layout. You really feel that you don't have a lot of space in your store right now for new products or services?
We are maxed out. The store really needs to stay open to allow for our customers to get through comfortably, and so it doesn't look too crowded.
Okay. Also, I kind of wanted to ask, what products or services in your store currently are really not living up to your expectations that you feel, or maybe you wanted to throw out but haven't maybe, but just what hasn't lived up to what you feel you would like in your store?
You know, it's the things that you have to carry as a C-store operator. Magazines and publications, automotive things. They're just not items that I make a lot of money on, but I think my customers expect me to carry them.
Okay. And these kind of products bring in new customers, and you feel you have to carry them in your store?
I don't know that they bring in new customers, but certainly my existing are used to being able to come in and pick up a TV guide or something of that nature, or oil for their old trucks and whatnot.
Okay, understandable. Really, I already asked you about the current high prices of gas and how that's kind of affecting, with your credit card transactions. I also wanted to see, if the service that I'm introducing today...
Excuse me for
you're
1
fine.
second.
I'm
I
sorry.
apologize.
Oh, you're fine.
Pat Bryden. Oh, I got somebody back here. I'm gonna need 10 minutes. Get yourself a drink, and I'll be out shortly. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. You're a busy guy. I understand perfectly. Well, since we're kind of limited on time, I really just had one more question for you. And, it's something, it's kind of a basic question, but are there any more concerns or issues that you may have that I really haven't touched on yet that you feel currently are affecting your store?
If you read the trade magazines, it's all credit card fees. And I always try to squeeze as much profit as I can out of every inch of my store.
Yeah, it's hard. I understand. So, all right. Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to actually introduce the product or the service that I am wanting to actually put in your store. And have you ever heard of ATM USA, Mr. Bryden?
I got your message, and it was funny you mentioned that because some other ATM companies have approached me, so I thought it was a good time to sit down and talk to you.
Good. Well, here is the actual pamphlet for the ATM USA service that we're wanting to put in the store. If you haven't really heard a whole lot, they were formed in 1998, and they're the #1 ATM company in the United States. They're around all 50 states, and they service over 3,000 ATMs in the United States alone. So they're a very well-known company, been around for 10 years, and they're based out of North Carolina. So they're very accessible with your needs, and actually since I'm here, I would be able to facilitate the transaction and figure out what works best for you in your store.
Okay.
From finding out what your current needs and situations are, you really focus on the credit card transactions, am I right?
There's something I'd like to get rid of altogether if I could.
Okay. Well, the credit card fees, I kind of made this little chart for you here. This is really your profit margin with the credit card fees per gallon of gas, and these are your prices over here. So say right now, currently, we're facing about $2 to $2.50 per gallon of gas, and your profit margins are somewhere in between 1.97 and 0.33%. Okay. So that's with credit card transaction if a customer uses that. Now, if we were to introduce our ATM USA product in the store and they did not use a credit card at the pump or when they came in, actually what that's doing is it's decreasing the amount of cost for you, increasing your profits, and then we have a machine profit added onto that. So your margins would actually be boosted up to 7.5 to 5.25% per transaction. And that's not even telling you about the customers when they come in. Usually when they take money out, they actually buy more in the store. That's usually an average customer. And I'll actually show you what the testimonials here. I visited a couple of Marathon stores in Bowling Green and Toledo. This one's in Bowling Green here. He said customers come in and they expect to see the ATM, and when they do, they usually spend more money. He said it's usually with cash.
Okay.
And it's not with credit cards, so he doesn't have to pay that 2% fee, so he's actually reducing his costs while making more of a profit. So that's one thing. And also you had mentioned and focused on store layout, how you don't really have a whole lot of room for a whole different lot of products in there. So I kind of wanted to show you, this is kind of the layout of what I thought about for your store here.
Okay.
I just went and did some research last week. Really the items that are highlighted in blue here are the items that just aren't giving you a whole lot of profit margin. I know you said the auto products you really have to have in your store as a convenience store. And you're selling gasoline, so auto products is a good product to keep in there, I believe. Right. Publications, you have those early morning people that like to read the newspaper, and you have the people that just want to pick up a magazine whenever they come to the store. So I understand that you want to keep those in your store as well.
Yep.
The thing I really wanted to focus on is your ice coolers. Now, from my research, your ice is not giving you a whole lot of profit per square foot. Is that correct?